Good morning, everybody. It's March 20th at 9 a.m. We'll start our meeting. John, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, it sounds like we want to remove 5 from the consent agenda. Put that on discussion. Oh, before we do that, is there anybody that wants to speak to anything that doesn't, not specifically that's on the agenda? Please raise your hand on the phone. Okay, so yeah, we'd like to remove 5. Any other changes? I'd entertain a motion
What is one more of that
to
word?
approve the
Oh,
consent agenda.
consent, okay. I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
With removal of number 5, and I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, yeah.
Okay. Carter, you're here to talk about International Dark Sky Week. Come on up. Yeah.
Have a +1 good name.
Oh, wonderful, yeah. Maybe name and address for both of you, if you would. And you got to really dive in there. It's not.
Good morning, everybody. Commissioner Hermrich, Commissioner Crawford, good morning. My name is Carter Goodell. I am coming here from Bend today on behalf of Visit Central Oregon and Dark Sky Oregon, which is a local chapter of Dark Sky International, whose mission is to, pardon me, restore the nighttime environment and protect communities from the harmful effects of light pollution through outreach, advocacy, and conservation. And I'm here to request a proclamation for International Dark Sky Week, which is a worldwide celebration of the night to build awareness about the harmful effects of light pollution and the importance of the global nighttime environment. And I do this as an AmeriCorps member of the Resource Assistance for Rural Environments program, along with Taylor Wilkie, also in my cohort working for Explore Prineville. And just to be clear, there's some misconceptions. Dark Sky International is not out to turn off the lights forever. They're just out to advance the state of the art of lighting design for our wallets and perhaps the environment as well. And in case you didn't know, light pollution affects 80% of all the people on Earth, which is essentially non-natural light sources. It affects countless vertebrates and invertebrates, as well as affecting the economic conditions via wasted light. So what's exciting about this problem is that if you have any authority over your lighting sources, you can be a part of the solution. So I respectfully request that the county proclamate this International Dark Sky Week for April 2nd through the 8th. Thank you very much, and I will give it over to my colleague, Taylor Wilkie.
Hi, Taylor Wilkie from Explore Prineville and Prineville Cook County Chamber of Commerce. So one of the best places to see the Central Oregon night sky is none other than the Prineville Reservoir State Park, the first state park in Oregon to be designated as an International Dark Sky Associated Park, one of 200 in the world and now 2 in Oregon. In honor of International Dark Sky Week, the Prineville Reservoir State Park is already planning to host various events at the conclusion of the week, April 5th through April 7th. There will be a sunset hike on Friday, as well as laser constellation tours and night sky telescope viewings on Saturday and Sunday evenings. Promotion of our Dark Sky Park is a huge asset to our tourism efforts, as the interest in dark sky tourism continues to grow and will draw even more visitors with our position as the gateway to the newly designated Dark Sky Sanctuary in the Oregon Outback. In 2016, over 5.5 million people visited an International Dark Sky National Park just in the state of Utah. Unfortunately, there hasn't been much updated data since then. Dark sky tourism benefits our economy, as dark sky tourists are common overnight visitors. On average, overnight visitors spend 3 times more than day-only visitors. With the typical off-season months associated with longer nights, dark sky areas have the ability to increase visitor counts year-round, leading to a more efficient use of local community and tourism-related resources. Thank you.
Yeah. Are you guys?
Oh, that's it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and we've talked with the state, and there's really exciting things. My biggest deal, though, is I don't want to affect people's private property rights. I know we do right now. Susie was telling me that we do have some rules about, what, type of lights you can have, and I'm okay with that. I just want to make sure we're not telling private property right owners that you can't build a home or you can't put what they want at their house within reason with this, but I totally respect that people want to go and see places with less light and be able to see the stars. So yeah, I think it's a really good thing. As long as we're not affecting people's ability to do things with their property.
As a former planning commission, we have been very sensitive to dark skies, and on almost all of our applications, we have put on that we want downward facing lights and things. One of the problems is you have a neighbor who moved in next to a neighbor who has this glaring light, and there's nothing you can do about the grandfather clause, but we have been very sensitive to that for at least a few years.
Absolutely. If you don't mind, I'll just make a quick comment
Yeah,
to that
please.
effect. So just to reiterate a point that I already made, the point of this is not to bring us back to the Stone Age. It's to advance the state of the art of lighting design. And the idea is that it would be an incentive to, or not necessarily an incentive, because you're not necessarily getting money for doing it, but an encouragement. And so perhaps it wouldn't be the government's role to tell those people not to build that house. It would be more of the government endorsing this, and then perhaps that would encourage that neighbor to maybe invite that other neighbor over for dinner, start a relationship. Oh, hey, I'll watch the kids. A couple years later, hey, what do you think about changing this light principle? So, if done correctly, not in a vacuum, but if done correctly, it could potentially promote community as well.
Total, oh, sorry.
I have a ranch in Paulina, and obviously I have dark skies, very beautiful dark skies. I also have a daughter with grandchildren in New York, and they came over this August and they went, "Oh, Ma," they call me Ma. "We didn't know there was this many stars." So it is very beautiful, and I do encourage what you're doing.
Well, thank you very much. Taylor, do you have anything else to say? Thank you, commissioners, and thank you.
I make,
Are you reading the proclamation?
well, okay, let me go back here. I didn't click.
And I have a paper copy as well.
Okay, hang on, I got the wrong thing. So I'm to read the proclamation, or they,
You can,
okay,
you or me or them,
okay.
whatever.
Would you like to read the proclamation, or would you like me to?
I'd be happy to. I would just need to do it out.
Sure.
Go
You got a
ahead.
paper
I
copy
have it
right now.
right
if you
here.
wanna-
Yeah. I think it'd be better from you.
All right. Whereas Oregon's dark skies are a significant natural resource with 2 accredited dark sky places to date, Prineville Reservoir State Park and Sun River. And whereas Oregon holds the largest area of pristine night skies in the contiguous 48 states. And whereas the experience of standing beneath a starry night sky inspires feelings of wonder and awe and encourages stewardship of our shared environment and our magnificent dark skies. And whereas dark skies are an integral part of or aspect of the sustainability of Oregon's wild ecosystems as a key environmental factor in bird migration, insect pollination, and human sleep patterns. And whereas astrotourism, including stargazing, astronomy star parties, dark sky photography, is an evolving facet of outdoor recreation with real economic benefits for communities across Oregon, and which promote the mitigation of light pollution. And whereas International Dark Sky Week is observed in April on the week of the new moon. Now, therefore, do I say the government of the Crook County of Oregon hereby proclaim? That is not, I'm not that.
Okay, well, here, let me get over here. Okay. I'm off of you again. Okay, here's your
Find
problem.
it for you.
I'm trying to get the mouse to work here. Okay. International Dark Sky, therefore, we, the government of Crook County, Oregon, hereby proclaim April 2nd through the 8th of 2024 to be International Dark Sky Week in Crook County, Oregon, and encourage all Oregonians to join in this observance. Thank you very much.
Commissioners, thank you very much.
I make a motion to pass. I guess we don't have an order on it.
Do we need to make a motion? Since
Yeah.
it's been-
Yeah.
For proclamation of International Dark Sky Week.
Brian will second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 No.
Thank you guys for coming and being here.
Okay, my mouse doesn't want to work. Okay.
Laura? Hello.
Hello, I'm not Laura, I'm Maddie. I'm here for Heart of Oregon Corps. Yeah, my name's Maddie. I'm the summer program manager for Heart of Oregon Corps. Here to represent Central Oregon Youth Conservation Corps. Thank you for having me. Hi, Crook County. Hi, Commissioners. Yeah, I'm here to request support for Heart of Oregon Corps, Central Oregon Youth Conservation Corps. Thanks for pulling up my little slide. I have a little slideshow about the program. I'm the summer program manager. A little bit about myself. I'm a veteran. I'm a local Oregonian. I've been in this position managing Central Oregon Youth Conservation Corps for 2 years now. It's something that's very dear to my heart, something I'm very passionate about, and something I'm very excited to talk to you today a little bit about. You can go ahead and press the slide. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, wow, look at that. There's a little video. I don't know if we want to watch this about what YCC is about. If the sound doesn't work, I can also just talk about it.
Yeah, I think that's, you can just do the voiceover if you want.
Cool. This is just a video that the Great Outdoors, it's a local news station, came and talked about Central Oregon Youth Conservation Corps. What Central Oregon Youth Conservation Corps is an 8-week program that employs youth who are 16 up to 18 years old for summer job program where they come and do all sorts of natural resource conservation work in our local area. They'll come and do fire fuels reduction, habitat restoration, trail work, all sorts of different projects. The whole point of the program is to get them a whole breadth of experience working outside and to help them gain confidence and learn job skills. So it's a real job. They need to learn how to show up on time, be prepared, how to call in, how to work with others they might not get along with. They get paid $15 an hour, and that equates to over $4,000 over the season if they show up every single day. And they do all sorts of stuff that benefit our communities. They make our communities safer from wildfire. They help us with our recreation out on the Ochocos. Here in Prineville, we have 3 crews that operate out in Crook County. So each crew has 5 youth on that crew and 1 crew leader. They're all local youth. This serves local youth specifically. And we do all sorts of good stuff with the Forest Service that benefit our ecosystems and benefit the youth. This comes from CCC. This is what this is showing us. This is a historic program. The CCC was put in place by the government back in the Great Depression to help get people employment and also improve our public lands. And that has transformed into today what is known as the Youth Conservation Corps, which runs throughout the nation. We're lucky enough here to have one of the biggest programs in Central Oregon Youth Conservation Corps. I manage crews as far north as Warm Springs and as far down as Crescent, Oregon. We operate over 13 crews, and one of our biggest spots is here in Prineville. We have 3 crews, that's just Heart of Oregon Corps side of thing. Also COYC also runs a crew, that's a Central Oregon Intergovernment Council. They have a crew here in Prineville as well. Like I said, we're lucky that we have one of the biggest YCC programs right here in our back door. That's what this video is kind of going about. It's just showing all the cool work that we do. The crew leaders also get a lot of great skills and benefits like learning the chainsaw that sets them up for the future. Heart of Oregon Corps has multiple positions within our organization that follow up with youth afterwards to help them get jobs or help them apply to college, help them do any and all those things that move them on in the future. Throughout the program, we also have a college day. We go up to COCC and we learn about how to apply for college. We have a career day where all the Forest Service specialists, the biologists, firefighters, law enforcement, all of it. There's a whole bunch of different sectors within the Forest Service that will come and teach the youth about what they do and help mentor them into that career field if that's something they want to do. We learn all sorts of different cool things on that day. And then the last day is a big awards day. These are all paid day for the youth. They come out of it with all these new skills, and they also come out of it with a sense of confidence that they did not know they could do a lot of these hard jobs that a lot of people are scared of doing. A lot of youth go in there not knowing that they can do these things, and they come out with a sense of huge confidence and hope for the future. You can actually skip through this. I have a couple slides that have some cool just statistics about our program. This is just a rundown of what it is. It's 8 weeks of conservation projects. It's June 24th through August 15th, right in their summer. We have 18 crews when it comes down with COIC as well, so it's huge program. We employ over 70 youth, 5 youth per crew. So there'll be 15 local Prineville crew youth who here in Crook County. They earn $15 an hour, and crew leaders earned $22 an hour with a bonus. You can click this one, next one. This is our accomplishments from last year. 78% of youth feel better about their future after this program. 74% interested in furthering education. 85% had a positive experience, and 90% felt that they had gained new skills out of 70 youth. We hired 23 Prineville youth and accomplished over 4,000 hours almost of development and habitat work. Again, this is our plans for next year. We're hiring 4 Prineville crews. 3 of them will be full-time, and then the last crew will be half-time. That crew is for youth who are experiencing disabilities. So we also have crews that are targeted for different needs. They will all earn $15 an hour, and we'll do all sorts of different wildlife and habitat projects. We can skip to the next one. So I'm here asking for today is support from Crook County for this amazing program that benefits both our youth and our community, and our local, they get the economy. So all these youth are getting paid money for the same, that goes back into the economy. A $5,000 contribution from Cook County would help pay directly for youth wages. So that would go into the pockets of the youth doing this amazing work for us. And it would be leveraged with U.S. Forest Service funds. So most of our funding comes from the Forest Service. 80% comes from the Forest Service, and we need a 20% match to fully access that full funding. That's what I'm here asking for support in achieving. And we'll all go towards, like I said, wages and get all these amazing projects and amazing development opportunities for our local youth here in Cook County. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great project. It's been here for quite a few years. I've known some kids that have been part of it. So yeah, I see it as a real positive thing, especially finding opportunities to get some of those kids that may not be working involved, getting work done and kind of pushing them to that next level.
I applaud you because it not only does it creates work ethic, but it also creates a sense of pride. You see what you've done, and that's huge. And we're seeing that dwindling in our society right now. So one of the changes that I want to make to Crook County is to do a community fund in the budget. And we're working on that. We're working on the budget right now. So you are not currently budgeted in our budget, which I have a question. A, do you think you'll be back here next year?
Yeah, we could be back. We'll likely be back here next year. We try to diversify our funds,
Okay.
but yes.
Okay, so right now, basically I talked to our finance director and she said that the court has not set a goal limit on spending for requests not created for a formal request, but I feel that we can find it, and I would like to make a motion to approve your $5,000 for your program.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Brian seconds it. I think it's a very worthy cause. It's great for the youth to be able to have the opportunity to do these things for the community. So I support it.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
thank you.
Thank you,
very
Cook
much.
County. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Budget.
All right, Melissa? And John. Yeah, just names and then,
Hi,
And
my
your
name's Melissa Hartzell. I'm with the Post Paulina Rangeland Fire Protection. I am first year acting secretary, so I have brought John Breeze, our chairman, who's been part of the association much longer than I have.
And I'm John Brees, from, we live on the Plana Highway. And we've sent a letter, and for several years, we've been asking, for support from the county This year, we're asking for the same amount, which is $4,500. And this money goes to maintenance for our equipment. We have equipment spread out over close to 41 different landowners and ranchers up in the upper country. And the money, this money is used to maintain and all the equipment and then add to it. We're currently trying to add more equipment, especially if we can get some government those trailers, and we can make slip-ins, and we can build our own slip-ins and then put those at different ranches so that when we have a fire, we can respond. The problem we have in the upper country, of course, is communications, landlines. If there's a fire reported and we try to call it in, everybody is out working and nobody's at the phone. So it's good that we can have that first response when people can be able to see the fire and respond to it. And that's what most of that money will go to. A little bit would go to upkeep of our administration, letters and correspondence and computer equipment that we have to have for responding to the government.
Yeah, we've got multiple slip-ins, as John said, and our radios are pretty crucial for communication, like he said. And so funding to keep those radios and communication upkeep, so that we can be the first response, because we're so far from anybody from town, BLM or Forest Service responding. And they count on us to be first responders. So we'd be grateful for funding to help us continue the fire support that we can for the upper country. Thank you.
Well, as your neighbor, I don't remember if it was last year, we had an incident on the Schwab Ranch, Weibel Ranch, and I came upon it. And there is no cell service, no landline. And I went to Hartzell's and we got shovels. And by the time the forestry showed up, we had the fire out. And it could have been very, very bad. So it is very important. And we do up there, we're neighbors helping neighbors. Happily, you are budgeted. You are budgeted for $5,000. You asked for $4,500. So there you go. So I make a motion to approve your request of $4,500.
I second.
Yeah, this is something we've done for quite a few years and we totally understand. We have folks from our, people go up there. We have, we need to make sure that we're taking care of the upper country wherever we can. So yeah, happy to help. Any discussion?
No discussion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you very much for being here today. And you did good, Melissa.
Thank you.
Jody. Is it that time again?
It is. Good morning. For the record, Jody Barham. I'm the co-coordinator for Oregon Living with Fire, and Dr. Jennifer Fenton is online. She's the other co-coordinator for Oregon Living with Fire. I live in Bend. She lives in Klamath Falls, and we come before you periodically to give you an update on your investment into our program. So you budget $20,250 a year to contribute, along with Deschutes, Jefferson, and Klamath counties, into our program of work. And our program of work here is implementing a national wildfire cohesive strategy initiative. We're part of the 17 Western states implementing the strategy to improve fire adapted communities, create resilient landscapes, and a safe and effective risk-based wildfire response. So how we do that is coordinating, communicating, convening meetings, and going after grants, particularly for our counties that we serve. We promote the use of prescribed burning as a mitigation measure. We work with the Heart of Oregon Corps, and I'm glad that Maddie's here because I actually emailed Laura and need to extend an invitation. Now I want Maddie to come to an event we're having on April 13th. There will be a wildfire home mitigation protection workshop. So residents on April 13th in the morning, and we'll have more information on our website, they can go to the Clover Building here and at the OSU Extension and take a 3-hour workshop, learn how to do a home assessment, learn how to walk your property, what to look for fuel mitigation work as a landowner. And then find ways to get that work done, like partnering with Heart of Oregon Corps or other groups in town. And that's part of what we do, connecting people with those resources, particularly people that may not be able to do the work themselves. That's an important piece. And we work, like I said, across the 3.5 counties on that. Then in the afternoon on April 13th, from 1:30 to 3:30, we're going to host a wildfire preparedness fair at the Clover Building. And I'm working with Amber Blanchard from the Crook County Fire and Rescue to host that. And we'll have partners from the State Fire Marshal's office there to answer questions about their new reimbursement program and some other fun activities. Smokey the Bear will probably be there. This is his 80th birthday this August. So we'll have partners from the Forest Service. We'll have partners from OSU Extension there with their new fire resistant plant guide to help encourage people to plant fire resistant things around their homes, reducing that fuel load. So for us here in Crook County, we've been also very active participating. Tim DeBoot, who's here, is on the steering committee. And we're going to the Natural Resources Advisory Committee meetings every other month as we can. In the months we don't attend that, we're at the Central Oregon Fire Chiefs Association meetings. And the other thing that we're working on right now is going after funding for the Prineville Renewable Energy Project. That did not get funded. We sent a letter of support to the Committee on Ways and Means in the legislature, and unfortunately, the $950,000 that we asked for was not funded. So as soon as I'm done here, I actually have a meeting after this with the governor's regional solutions team, and we're hoping to get state level funding to fill that gap so that project can proceed. If we're not successful, we do have some opportunities at the federal level that we'll look into, but we'd like to have the state level government be a partner with us because we already have investments locally and federally for that program. So just wanted to give you that quick update on some things we're working on. We're heading into prescribed fire season. And so we'll be working with the OCHCO, with the BLM, also with the Crooked River National Grasslands on implementing some things with the wildfire crisis strategy. This is a priority landscape. And we know that the people who live here in Central Oregon want to take care of the landscape and make it resilient to wildfire. So as fire is put on the ground, and we may see a little bit of smoke this spring, the intention of that is to help prepare us for wildfire and to reduce that risk. So I have with me a few things that I'll give to you. And Commissioner Barney, I'll leave it here for you for when you're able to pick them up. But we designed a postcard. Our program administers the Central Oregon Fire .org website with our federal and local partners, our county public health for smoke impacts. So this card will be given out. People can text CO Fire to 888-777 and get text alerts when prescribed fire is going on the ground. And the Forest Service puts out alerts, so then you know that you might experience some smoke impacts. So we designed that. We have some cards with talking points on prescribed fire and then some stickers. So I'll leave those behind for you. And then I also want to pass it to Jen to update you on anything on the grant side of things, because she's our grant guru and might have some more to add. Jen?
Morning, Jody. Great job. As far as Crook County goes, I haven't had a lot of opportunity to do some grants in Crook County, but I just finished with the BRIC Building Resilient Infrastructure Community on behalf of High Desert and the museum at Warm Springs. I was able to incorporate a little bit about Crook County in there, just because I know that you guys have some school kids that go and visit High Desert Museum and things of that sort. So that I would just really love at some point. I've been kind of scouring all different kinds of places to see about extra funding for the prep and different things of that nature. So anything that I can do to help in that funding way, any kind of projects that you guys can come up with, feel free to send them my way and I will definitely take a look at it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jen. That's really all I had. Our next steering committee meeting that Tim will be at is actually tomorrow morning. We're getting a presentation from Pacific Power on their wildfire mitigation strategies and planning for the spring burns going on. There's a lot happening both on the so, and if you have any questions, we're always available to any of you as contributors or any special projects, which is something I wanted to ask. Do you have anything on the top of your mind that you'd like for us to be working on or any areas of interest that we can do better at?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biomass is super important. That's clearly on the top of the list. You know, again, any funds we can get to get fuels out of the forest, I think that's super important. That seems to be the most important thing to keep those wildfires under control. And we have quite a few areas in our Forest Service that are just so full of fuel. And so, yeah, I mean, and obviously if you could talk them into cutting some trees, you know, for actual logs, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and we're working with folks in the forest products industry as well, because you do have some things that are marketable and then there's things that aren't. So finding that alternative to some of the pile burning and things for that non-marketable fuel. I think we have some good opportunities here. So thank you for being a leader for Crook County and for the rest of Central Oregon, because as that project gets built out, it's going to be something that can be replicated in other places.
I thank you for your presentation. Obviously, in the West, wildfire has become a very big topic. And again, as a former planning commissioner, we've been passing out that Firewise pamphlet that Russ Tim's son has developed. And thank you again for your presentation.
Yeah, you're welcome. And as we update the community wildfire protection plan here in Crook County, we'll make sure that you're engaged. And then Jen and I are both gone in the summers working on fires, so we tend to not be around as much. So if you miss us in those months, our numbers are on here and you can always call or text us to get a hold of us. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I will, can I pass these along to?
That can be somewhere. We love to be there. I'm sure. That would be awesome. Yeah.
What happened? It used to be like too loud all the time. Things have changed. I don't think so. All right. So Ruby.
Can you hear me if I leave this down?
No, I can hear you. It's the group, it's the back of the room that suffers.
How about now? About now?
Yeah.
I am.
Can people in the back hear you? Yeah, Doc's got you. That's all we.
Okay.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, okay. Well, that's
How
fine.
about this guy? Can you hear him? No?
Yeah.
You gotta run up there and just
See, now you know why
just belt it out.
I said this last time. You're giving a 60-year-old guy technology. Bad idea. My name's John Anello. I'm with Pacific Power and Light. I am the
There we
project
go.
manager on a permitting project for a new 500 kV line that we want to build. I brought with me my consultant team. Cindy, if you want to go ahead and introduce your team.
I'm Cindy Smith with Power Engineers. I'm a senior environmental project manager, and we have two colleagues with us. Derek Vowles, a senior project manager working on the routing study, and Chris Edmonds from Coastline Public Relations, who's helping us with the public involvement work.
Okay, can you flip slide? This is just representation of the area that the line is being routed in. It covers the South Central Oregon. Next slide. The purpose that I'm here is just to explain to you the project need and the plan for the timing on it. The backbone, the grid system is getting antiquated, and so we have to make it more robust because the power demands continue to grow. We are more electrifying our homes and our cars, and so the grid system needs to be upgraded. And the purpose of this line is to ensure that we can continue to serve our customers and supply power safely and as needed. Next slide. So this is a demonstration or an explanation of our expected loading. Currently, we're at 4,400 megawatts. We expect to see in the next 10 years that's going to double. It could grow greater. We have a lot of data centers and things that are coming into the area. So right now, our anticipation is that our demands will double. Next slide, please. This is a closer up view of where the line routing is planned for. It's going to come from our substation on our California border. It's called our Malin substation. Plan to go through Snow Goose, which is another substation up in Cay Falls. Move to a new sub that will go somewhere in the Chiloquin area and then come down into this area by our Pilot Butte and Ponderosa substations. Next slide. This is a representation of the grid system itself. It just demonstrates that power flows from the generation through transmission lines. It'll go to substations that step the voltage down to more usable power, and then ultimately to our distribution system, which goes to people's houses and the communities. Next slide, please. For a 500 kV line, this is our typical structure types. They're the big lattice towers. You guys see them out right now. Their length's approximately 180 miles. Our structure heights are 160 to 180 feet, which is typical to what you're seeing out there currently. And the right-of-way width for a 500 kV line is roughly 250 feet. Next slide, please. We're currently in the routing study phase, and one of the reasons we're appreciative that you allow us to come explain to you what we're doing. We're trying to get this before the community and get it before private interest groups. Routing power lines is incredibly problematic and getting more so. So the more public involvement we can get, the better. Currently, we are in the data collection mode, and we will be moving forward with a few route ideas with some community working groups. Next slide, please. Oh. We're off somehow. Am I jumped? No, I'm the one. Okay. So these are the typical things that we look at: land ownership, planned and future use, aesthetics, presence of protected species, endangered plants, floodplains, wetlands, cultural sites. These are all the things that have to be taken into account when we look for a viable route. Next slide. Again, this is where we are currently. We are in the routing study and data collection mode. We have a long way to go. We do presentations, or we're hopeful to do presentations with community working groups, and then we would eventually come back to the counties and local municipalities and explain what our route is and attempt to permit them. Again, our evaluation factors are regulatory compliance, the availability of land, substations where they're viable locations, transmissions, towers and constructability, economics, environmental requirements, and what is most critical is public input. Next slide, please. This is part of our public outreach and engagement plan. These are some of the tools we use, fact sheets, website content, information lines, notifications and mailing lists out to interested parties as well as impacted parties, and public meetings and hearings. Next slide, thanks. These are a few of the higher level permits that are likely to be required for this project. The FSEC, which is the Energy Facility Siting Council, run by the Oregon Department of Energy. We have the National Environmental Policy Act. If we cross federal lands, like the BLM is usually our federal lead, we'll have to go before the Public Utility Commission to obtain a certification of public necessity. And then there are likely to be other federal permits like wetlands and forest land permits. Next slide, please. This is our hoped schedule. Currently, the routing study phase. We plan to move next year into permitting, and then land acquisition and construction with the in-service date desired for 2032. Last slide. Again, that was a quick overview. My name is John Anello. This is my contact information. I'm sure we'll be back here to tell you more about and update the project in the future. But if you have any questions.
Nope. We appreciate you guys working to bring more power to our community. I know that's been an issue we've had for quite a while.
Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Health?
thank you for your presentation. You have your work set out in front of you. It's not going to be an easy task. A lot of T's to cross and I's to dot. And so it's a long process. Thank you.
Oh, did I jump you, Will? No, I think you're after her. Jeez. I know you want to get that new person in there so badly. You saw some light and you just jumped in there.
Good morning, Kelsey Lucas. I'm with EDCO Crook County, the Economic Development Director here. As a refresher, so in the 2023 legislative session last year, the long session, the House Bill 2009 was passed, which extended the sunset date of the Enterprise Zone Property Tax Abatement Program. With that, some added caveats were added onto the program, including a school support fee. So this impacts companies using the extended abatement, which is the 4 to 5 year program, the standard being the 3-year program, or the long-term program, which is 6 to 15 years. So in years 4 and 5, and then 6 to 15 for both of those companies are required to pay a fee to the school district between 15 and 30%. That is counted as district local revenue, so it doesn't actually impact the school district directly. It's subtracted from the school state funding formula, dollar for dollar. So not a huge impact, but it is required by the program now. Last Monday, we had a school board meeting and the Crook County School Board agreed that they would like to move forward with the 15%, which is kind of the consensus around the region, or I guess Ben Lapine, Redmond, and Sisters all went with 15% as well.
Because like you were saying, it goes back to the state and then we get a small percentage of whatever they collect. Is that?
Yeah, it's subtracted in that formula. So for them, it's counted as revenue, just included in the other streams that they already have. So there's not really a real direct impact.
No.
And they didn't necessarily consult the school districts when coming up with the legislation. So it's a little bit of an added step for both the school district and locally for the assessor's office and then management of that. But this would be for any agreements going forward. So it wouldn't impact any previous agreement. So anything after September 2023 is impacted. going forward, any extended abatements, which are the 4 to 5 year programs, this wouldn't show up until 2028 at the earliest. And then for the long term, 2030, since it is anything within the future. And then who pays the school support fee? That's the businesses again, in those extended abatement or long-term programs going forward. And then that's invoiced by the school district, and they get that amount from the assessor's office, and it's calculated by their tax savings, and then a percentage, which would be 15% if we go that route. Moving forward, they would be charged that for the 4th and 5th year, and then 6th through 15th years.
Perfect. And so we need to just agree with what they've put forward and.
So as the zone sponsors, the city and county basically have to sign off that you back up that 15% amount unless you have a strong feeling otherwise. But like I said, there's no real impact to the school district. So it's kind of just something that's required and we have to sign off on and just monitor going forward.
Perfect. I'd entertain a motion.
Brian, would you like to maybe make a motion?
I'll make a motion to pass order number 2024-15 in the manner of the county of Crook County approving the establishment of a school support fee of 15%.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And thank you, Kelsey, for all the great work you do for EDCO and us and everyone in the region. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, now you are up. Well, wait, yeah.
Thank you. Good morning, commissioners. I'm here this morning with the recommendation from the Planning Commission for an appointment to a vacancy on the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission voted last week to recommend Marlo Dill be appointed to the vacant seat on the Planning Commission. Marlo's here, and I'm sure she's happy to answer any questions you may have.
10 to 20 minute speech.
So that was one of their recommendations. The Planning Commission was also really impressed with another candidate who applied, Shelby Duncan, and they recommended that he be appointed as a pro tem commissioner under Crook County Code 18-172-080 subsection 1 subsection I. This allows for the appointment of a commissioner to be used as kind of necessary when a need arises if we have a quorum issue. I think it's a neat opportunity to get a younger member of our community involved with the Planning Commission and give him an opportunity to learn the ropes and eventually apply for a permanent position on the Planning Commission. Staff's recommendation is that the pro temp position, if the board elects to go that route, that the pro temp position be for the remainder of this calendar year. We anticipate some openings, some terms that are ending this year. We expect the commissioners to resign from the commission. So we expect some openings at the end of this calendar year for some permanent positions. So I come bearing the news of the Planning Commission's recommendation. Happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Nope.
One of the hardest things for me when I put in my hat for the commissioner race or whatever you want to say was giving up the Planning Commission. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't say enough. So I want to welcome you, Marlo. I hope you get as much enjoyment as I did. And I think it is wonderful you're doing the pro tem. And again, I've heard a lot of good things about both of you. So I welcome you both, and I will make a motion to pass order 2024-18 in the matter of the appointment to the Planning Commission of Marlo Dill and Shelby Duncan.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very
Welcome
much.
aboard. Do you want to say anything?
I'm happy to be able to assist in the planning commission, the planning board. It's, I've been involved in real estate my entire career. So I do find real estate interesting, and Crook County It'll give me a means to be able to be more involved in the community. Thank you.
Welcome.
Tim? You got a couple here.
All right. Good morning, Tim DeBoot, Crook County Natural Resources Program. Let's see, I think the first thing I got is a Taylor Grazing Board appointment. This is Taylor Grazing Board is a group of BLM permittees who live and ranch in Crook County and serve the county as a kind of the approval review board for Taylor grazing projects that occur on allotments here within the county. The BLM permittees, a portion of their grazing fee is returned to the county every year, and those funds accumulate and are used as cost share for range improvement practices. It's a committee of 5. We have currently a vacancy. We had 2 individuals apply for that position. Gary Bedortha and Mr. Newman. Forget his first name, sorry.
I think it's
Hunter,
New-
thank you.
It's Newharth. Newharth is the last name.
Wow. Yes, it is.
Close.
Just to keep it.
Just check and make sure you knew that.
Okay.
Yes, and in reviewing those applications and sort of trying to maintain a geographical representation of that board, it's my recommendation that you appoint Gary Bedortha to a lifetime appointment to the Grazing Advisory Board. These are, I say lifetime sort of jokingly, they're not termed positions on this particular board. They serve until they either get tired or no longer want to do it, and then we go find somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm totally on board, but is there a way you could involve Hunter? I think it's pretty exciting. We have somebody younger that is interested in.
Yep, so
in that,
I
and-
talked with Sarah, we are gonna keep his name because much like Will talked about some vacancies potentially occurring on the planning commission, I anticipate at least 1 or 2 resignations in the near future on the grazing board, and so I'm sure that we're gonna be using him and others in the near future as well, so.
But and like invite him to some meetings and
Yeah,
keep him involved. That would be my only request, that, you know, when you got.
we don't meet often. Annually, we may see 1 application a year requesting cost share dollars. So we gather everybody up when that occurs, and so yeah, we'll keep them all in the loop.
Perfect. I'd entertain a motion.
Brian, would you like to make this motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion to accept order 2024-19 in the manner of the appointment of the Taylor Grazing Committee with appointee Gary Bedortha.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All righty, next agenda item, the Ochoco National Forest, Crooked River National Grasslands is currently in a 30-day public comment period. They are looking to modify their list of accepted herbicides on the Crooked River National Grasslands. The new addition is a product called Indesiflam. We know it as Rejuvra. And it's a product that is very effective on the control of annual grasses. Cheatgrass, Medusa head, and Ventonata are the 3 primary winter annual grasses in Central Oregon that are in many cases sort of taking over our landscapes, elevating fire risk. And this product has shown some promise as another tool in the toolbox. The deadline for comment is tomorrow. And so before you is a draft letter seeking your signatures to be sent nearly immediately to the Ochoco National Forest as part of their public record during this scoping period.
So,
I very much liked your letter. I thought it was written excellently. I wish the price would come down on this. That would be my only thing, but I know you don't control price, so I wholeheartedly approve this.
so I entertain a motion.
Okay, let me go back to, is there an order on this? Okay, I move to encourage our letter of support for a DASA plan or okay, a DASA plan. I'm not good at phonics.
Brian,
Brian seconds.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Okay, Stephen?
Sarah, I'll give you the contact of how to get that.
I have it ready to go with no change, so.
Good morning, Stephen Chellis, CIO, Crook County. This is for a redundant internet circuit.
Closer.
A little closer, even.
Okay,
That was soft voice.
are we good now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Stephen Chellis, CIO, Crook County. This request is for a redundant internet connection at the Justice Center for a 3-year term. Just looking for authorization for signature for 36 months.
Yep. Clearly we need it, so I'd entertain a motion.
I have to say, the internet is very expensive. Brian, would you like to make this motion?
No.
Okay, Brian maybe got lost there for a minute, so I will make a
So
motion.
there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Just
Okay,
unmute.
okay, Brian, there you go.
So I make a motion to support Stephen in the letter or in the charges and costs of $7,000 to Lumens for the internet.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Casey?
Okay.
Oh, okay. So I'm here this morning to speak of the jockey room. The Fair Board met Monday night and unanimously voted to ask the county court to move forward with the one and only bid that was submitted for the jockey room project.
Right, yeah, so we,
A quick one there. Okay, I was expecting more too.
so it is correct, we did have one bid, it was a little bit higher than our estimate, but, and there were some minor informalities with the bid we had to get amended, but we have everything that we need now, and so, the county board would like to move forward. I would recommend a motion to designate Bex Construction as the lowest responsible bidder, and to sign the contract out of court following the bid protest.
So I have a question, Casey. Did we put it out to more, but we only got one response? So we did try for others.
Correct. It was
Okay.
put out publicly and for a substantial period of time, and I was as surprised as everybody that we just
Okay.
received the one.
And then my other question is, I know that we had 277 appropriated that was going towards this. How close are we to our final here? We have, well, basically we have 491 is our bid.
Correct. And so we're going to take a portion out of our $2 million
Okay,
portion of that. And then we do have a little bit of our PAP-A money still left. We're gonna throw that into the pot and we'll have it all covered at that point.
so you will be covered.
Yes.
Okay, all righty.
Right.
Brian, do you have any questions?
Nope, I don't have any questions. Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion to award the jockey room to Marshall Beck's Construction for $490,900.
Brian will second.
For the board to sign out of court following.
And for the board to sign
Out of court following the protest.
following the what?
Protest period.
There's a bid protest period after.
Oh, okay, got it,
7
got it,
days.
got it. Okay,
Maybe
and for the board to sign this out of court after the protest session.
Period.
I will second that also.
Thank you, Brian.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
How long is the protest session?
7 days.
Thank you. Okay, Brian, you got something here from, I guess first we got our administrator's report. Oh, okay. This is the intergovernmental agreement with the Prineville and the airport.
Yeah, good morning, Commissioners. Yes, this is related to the IGA between the county and the city on the airport. I recall through the discussion in our work session last week, there were two items that we needed to finalize with the city. That would be paragraph 2 on page 2, and then item 6 on page 4. And you have a blue line version. There was no changes to the consideration that remained at 112,000. They did provide the cost information that shows to be 1/2 of the total cost that's coming between the city and the county in terms of cost sharing for the services of the airport manager that's employed by the city. Section 6, reconciling the city's airport fund. After talking with Lori Hooper more and her looking at this a little bit closer, she's requested that the closeout of this occur at June 30th, 2024, on the same terms that we've talked about previously, with a not to exceed amount of 45,000, and that's written into the agreement, which I think I mentioned 50,000 at the last meeting. So those are the changes, or the changes that were made only in paragraph 6. Glad to address any questions you may have.
I think we went over
Yeah,
this
we went over
and
this.
we have it corrected, so I'm good with this.
Yeah, so am I. And if you'd like a motion, I'll make a motion to approve the IGA with the city of Prineville on the airport.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Brian, you got something about the Mackay Creek?
Yeah, just quickly, Ocho Irrigation District sent out a letter and would like our support. This goes clear back to 2012 with the Crooked River legislation and the water that was allocated to the different sources. And one of them being Mackay Creek was to put their in-stream water in, and that area was to be subsidized with water from Bowman Reservoir. And to do all that, there was a whole infrastructure update that had to happen for Ocho Irrigation District. And they're presently doing that. And it's all been from funds, not necessarily from Ocho or any taxpayers in our local area, but from federal funding. And they are asking our support to go out and ask for some additional funding to continue on with this process. And it helps, it helps our whole valley, all of our irrigators and our agricultural interests for Crook County. So I'm very supportive of continuing it. We supported them through the legislation and want to just continue to support them.
Yeah, totally agree. Whatever we can do for local farmers in the irrigation district. Whatever we can do for local farmers in the irrigation district, we're happy to support them.
Go ahead, Brian.
Excuse me. Go ahead. If there's nothing or no other input, then I'll just make a motion for the Board of Commissioners who support Ocho Irrigation District with this letter that's presented before us.
And I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great. Well, that's the end of our regularly scheduled meeting, so we will go. Then no. We'll now go in.
Does Brian, do you have a court update?
That was his court update.
Okay.
I mean, you're welcome to have more if you'd like.
I didn't know. We're good. I'm just trying to make sure.
All right, we will now go into executive session under ORS 1926602H, consulting with counsel concerning the legal rights and duties of a public body with regard to current litigation or litigation likely to be filed.
Let's take maybe a little break.
Yeah, we'll take 5 minutes after, but I gotta read this here. Representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to leave the room. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report any deliberations during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session is previously announced. No decision may be made in executive session. As previously announced, at the end of the executive session, return to open session, welcome the audience back in the room.